Hey guys, it's Dili. Today we are going to interview Lib and we have a special feature today. It's Vexio again. Hey
No,
guys.
it's Jesus. It's Jesus. I'm Jesus. Hi.
So how are you
Yo.
guys? Is everything good?
Yes, I am Jesus and I am good.
Yeah,
Uh,
everything's just been fine. I'm just here.
okay, that's awesome. So Lib, my first question for you is when did you actually start designing GFX and what was your goal when you started?
Yeah, actually, that is a really good question because that was like a long time ago. I believe it was like 3 years ago or something. I don't know, but it's somewhat weird for me to say that. But yeah, it's been 3 years. And my goal back then, I don't know. I was just there. I just wanted to design and create something out of my imagination, and it was like a way for me to cope with my problems back then too. So there's that.
All right. Who was your inspiration when you first started GFX design?
At first, actually, I used to do fashion GFX for like 1 to 2 years until I transitioned into making realistic GFX. But at the time, I really looked up to. I don't know if the viewers will know them, but I really used to look forward to Tomorrow Jonathan's work a lot. Like a lot. Like their designs were like really unique and it genuinely stood out from everyone's GFX and everyone just started following the dude. And yeah, I think that's mostly it. Though there are some like right now, I mainly get my inspiration from song artists like Melanie Martinez, like that. I don't know if I pronounced her name correctly, sorry. But I mainly get my inspiration from Melanie or and mainly just cartoons, shows. Mainly also, I don't know if you guys know this, but I also get inspiration from Debo the Gift Dragon, if you know that. It's a really fun show. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Do you have any inspirations from RTC?
From the RTC, mainly. Yeah, that's actually a good question because mainly I really look up to I5K's work and Softies and also Flax's because their work and their everything about it is just really cool and the composition, everything, and how the colors just combine overall. It's a masterpiece, literally.
Yeah, that's
I don't know how they manage it. Like with so many orders like that, I can't even handle one. Sucks, but yeah.
yep.
So Lib, what tips do you want to give for people who are just now starting getting into GFX design?
Okay, I really wanted to answer this question. So, mainly the one main thing that I don't want beginner artists to do, is to open commissions, because opening commissions would basically just ruin your experience with GFX and overall disturb the learning process in it. It's the one mistake that I would totally not redo again, and is something that I would really advise for other beginner GFX artists out there. And yeah, that's basically it. You just
Next question. According to you, what part of GFX makes designers unique?
that is a really difficult question to answer because mostly nowadays you can every single GFX you find right now are you find on the Roblox GFX Twitter tag, for example. It all looks the same. It literally looks like an NFT. So
I agree.
it's yeah, like it's difficult to say what makes it unique, but I think it's just what makes it unique is how you approach it, I guess. It's mainly how they would do their composition, everything, and how they incorporate their characters into the GFX. Like for mine, usually I'll admit my GFX looks somewhat average, but I mostly try to incorporate stories into my GFX rather than just doing random poses into them. So what I really think makes a GFX really unique is the message it's trying to bring out to other people when it's being presented, like
Mm-hmm.
what
I agree.
story it gives, what it's supposed to interpret rather than just random poses,
Uh huh.
drinking stuff and stuff. But yeah, that's That's my opinion on it.
So you think that every like design decision or like the designer should take in everything into account, like when making their GFX, like they should be thinking about composition or like colors or posing, you know what I mean? Like when when
Yeah.
making their GFX. I got you.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely think they should. Well, for one, it is literally the primary job of a graphic designer to think of all the factors that go into a GFX, such as you said, the composition, the characters, and everything. Actually, for me, I actually have to do like. Wait, no, I'm straying from the question. But yeah, I generally do think they should focus on all of the factors that go into a GFX. Because would you still really be a GFX artist if you didn't, you know, focus on all of those factors? If you didn't apply what you know about GFX, and yeah, that. Okay.
So, Lib,
I should-
you are considered as a professional graphic designer because of your card or any of the work you do. So, what are your tips on being professional in the market today?
Oh, yeah, that's good too. I actually admit something. I only do my cards for fun. So, but mainly from what I have experienced on Twitter and other marketplaces I've been on, what you mainly want to do to become professional is to set up a to-do list, a commission sheet. There's a lot of things that you need to consider, but one thing that you really need to consider is marketing, how you present your products as well. It's why I mainly try to used to add effects to my GFX before, like the borders and stuff. And also another thing that you should consider to become professional in the market is to just prepare rules, conditions for the client to follow, and make sure the rules are actually plausible for you, and both for you, the artist, and the client. Because sometimes there are cases that the client doesn't pay you back, so you have to set up a rule where you have to pay upfront first before you order. And like in another situation which I've been in recently, about people asking for renewals even though the price they paid for is like really really low. So like I have nothing else. Even though it's like really low, you should set up a rule where.
So actually, this is a random question, but Albani was also a graphic designer when he started. So, what's the difference in the community when you joined and right now where Lib is actually making?
Oh, okay. Right when I joined the community, it was mainly Roblox graphics design, Roblox GFX Center, I believe. I'm still actually in it. Yeah, Roblox graphics community. That community was really supportive back then, but there were also people who were toxic, so I didn't really interact as much. I also reached the era where GFXC, I believe. Yeah, that place felt really, really scary for me at the time because I was like really young back then, and people were really scary back then. Back then they trash talked everyone about their GFX, but now it's hard to say because there are some instances that people still trash talk GFX, but mostly I think I see people wanting to improve on each other's works. Like, for instance, like there's like a bunch of GFX servers today that exist rather than from the past. Because from the past there were only like that I know of anyway, that there were 5 GFX servers that I was in that I knew of, and most of them were like inactive and stuff. But now there's just like how many? Like there's so many, like 20 at least, 20 at least to get advice from and really get criticism on your work. So it's really nice to see that people are forming a bigger community and how it has developed in the recent years.
Yep. So actually, you both are very experienced and professional in your own ways. Do you both have something in common that you want people to know?
I guess we're both hardworking. Like, I know from your interview video, I actually watched that. You said you were like, at the time were burnt out and still continued doing logos. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you too?
Yeah. Even now, actually, I'm literally burnt out. And I'm doing commissions, so like, yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly
so, yeah.
Go.
Okay. I think that like commissions, they're like really the main thing that like burns you out. Because if you don't have a deadline to, like work forward to, then in general, you're not really like focused, or you're not really like stressed on like about anything, because you don't have like anything to worry about. Basically, you could work at your own pace. You don't have to like please your client. Really, you're only doing what you're doing for the sake of passion, I guess. So I think I think commissions, like they could really burn you out. So you gotta be careful.
Yeah, like mainly just doing commissions, as you said. Like the more money you get, the less passion you receive. So like.
Yep, exactly. That's what you said earlier.
That's basically it. Yeah, that's what we basically have in common.
Yep.
So,
what are your post-processing techniques that you use frequently in your designs? Or composition techniques?
Okay, yeah. Mainly I use the normal like the grid composition thingy. I mostly just use that, and really I always try to add layers in my GFX too. Like if you notice, there will always be like a blurred part at the front, and then the main view, the main character, the main scene, everything, and then the background that's somewhat blurry. I always apply that to my GFX. And another thing, I also really like to put in random light effects to really emphasize what you're supposed to be looking at. Because what I mainly focus at in GFX is where would the viewer look at first if they were to look at my GFX. So if, for example, if I wanted to make a person look at, let's say, a person drinking a cup of coffee or something, I would basically just try to put more brightness into the person drinking a cup of coffee rather than all of the GFX thingy, rather than and basically highlight them. Basically just highlight them.
Your recent GFX is so cool, man.
Thank you. I mainly just use contrast as composition.
Look.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that one actually. Wait, what?
It's so colorful, man.
Thank you. That one I actually struggled with the most, because you can see before it was like really cluttered. Not as much as now, but it was seriously cluttered. Like you couldn't tell where to look at all. And luckily, though, I received some tips about it and then blurred some parts of it so that you would focus on the woman in the GFX.
So I think that's it for this podcast. I really enjoyed it and hope you guys did. Thanks for Albani. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But thank you for coming out here. I really appreciate it. And
No problem.
that's it for today. Goodbye, guys.
Bye. Bye bye.